Hello, Flosstube. My name is Arlene Wild, and I'm known as Stitching in the Fence. I've got a little friend who wants to say hello. He's restless, but I'll put him up because he needs some food. So I'm going to let him say hi, and then I'll come back to you. Say hello, Eric. There you go. Say hello to Flossy friends. Hi, that's Eric. Anyway, I'm going to just quickly give him something to eat, and I'll come back. Right, so we're back. Sorry about that. Eric wanted to get involved, as always. He's had his food, but he likes, mummy spoils him. And he was pestering for some more, and I know if I didn't do it, he would have been a pest. A lovely pest, but a pest. Anyway, so shall we start again? Hello, Flosstube and my flossy friends. Welcome back to my channel, Arlene Wild, Stitching in the Fence. Welcome to my subscribers, my very lovely loyal subscribers. I'm so grateful. I've gained so many subscribers in such a short time, and I'm really grateful. And of course, a warm welcome to all our new subscribers as well. Yes, you welcome and hope you will like what you see and that you'll come back and visit from time to time. Now, the first thing I've got to apologize, there's a couple of things. The first thing is the reflection in the glasses. I'm afraid to say I have moved the camera 100 ways. We are having one of those rare weekends, a beautiful, hot, perfectly sunny time here in the United Kingdom, and we're enjoying it. And this room I'm sitting in, which is my stitching room, which is our sitting room, it's very bright. It's got big windows. It's a Victorian cottage, so it's got two big windows at the front, and it's quite a long room. And then at the other end, it also has another one facing me. So I've tried everything, and I cannot get rid of the green reflection from the windows. And we're not overlooked, so we don't have curtains here. So there's no way of putting a blind up or anything. So sorry, guys, you're going to have to put up with that one. The other thing is, I'd like to, on a more serious note, apologize for my absence. Now, I don't think I want to do every 2 weeks, right? But the last 6 weeks or so have been off the scale. Busy, busy, busy. And I think last week we released, or the week before, we released a video, which was the one from Sky, which was late anyway. And I've got my Scottish video to sort out and release so that you can do your come with me and so on and so forth. But what has happened is it has been busy, but busy in a good way. For one, as you know, I work as a professional artist, and we do run a small business, which is our livelihood, so to speak, and we do a lot of events. So, of course, it's the summer season, so there's been a lot of shows going on. Simon has been busy out on the road, and I've been busy in the studio making and doing orders and so forth and so forth. So, unfortunately, that has not helped at all. Work always gets in the way, but it's necessary, right? Because it's real life here. And also, in the summer time, as you know, the summer is busy for all of us, stitchers, Flosstubers, everybody, because, the ones who have grandchildren, I have not got any yet, but the ones who have grandchildren, they've got grandchildren, they've got the gardening, they've got this, that, holidays, yeah. So the other thing is as well, it's a very special year for me this year because it will be my 60th in August, and therefore the family and friends have been treating me to all sorts of delights, some of which I will share with you. So as you know, we went to Scotland, and I got a surprise trip to Seville. The children and everybody put together, and they came, and we had a lovely time in Seville, in Spain. And I have done a recording for you. It's just going to be a slideshow. So you're probably going to find that over the next probably 3 weeks or so, there'll be a rush of little videos coming out because I need to play catch up so that I can, life keeps moving, and there's always things going on in my life, so I can share that with you as well. The other good news is my treatment has worked beautifully. For those of you who follow the channel, you will know that I have sickle cell. And for many, many years, certainly for the last 5 years, it has almost become like a disability. But I have been put on a new treatment, and the new treatment has helped a lot. It is unbelievable. So with my newfound energy, I have been like a little whirlwind as well, catching up on a lot of the life things that I wasn't able to do before, including stitching as well. There's been stitching. So without further ado, let us get into the stitching and see what I have been up to. Right, so the first big thing I wanted to show you is the baby sampler. Yay! I finished it. But before I show you the baby sampler, the baby is here. We have a lovely little girl. Well, I haven't. My friend does. She has her first granddaughter. She's called Tabitha. I've seen a little picture of her. I haven't met her yet. But I'm pleased to say that this weekend she is 3 weeks old. Gosh, the time just flies. Or is she 2? I think she's 2 weeks old. And her little sampler is finished. Now, we're just waiting for Simon when he gets back from the shows because he leaves tomorrow. Today is the 28th of July. He leaves tomorrow for a week at the Royal Horticultural Hyde Hall. He's going to Royal Horticultural Hyde Hall show. So he hasn't got time to frame, but I thought I'd let you see it. And next time, we will see it finished before I send it off. Now, let's see if I can show it. Look at it. Isn't it beautiful? I pretty much dropped everything over the last few weeks to get it finished. We will insert a picture of where it was when you saw it last time, but I have completely changed the design. So I'm going to show you the picture in a minute, and then I'll show you how I've changed the design. I wanted to do it unisex because, to be honest with you, I cannot guarantee they'll have another one for the next baby. So I want it to last. Now I'm trying to think. Oh, here's the pattern. Here we go. So that was the design there. The design, I keep saying the pattern, but you know what I mean. So it's a Bothy Threads. Oh, it's a bit shiny. I tell you what, this light is playing havoc on my life. Even though I'm loving the sun. It's so much easier to manage the gloom. So there you go. So it is called Love Baby. I got the boy one on purpose. I knew I was going to make it unisex, but I did like the more of the balance, the colors that I was given in there, because I was going to use those colors plus some of my own colors. And that's it there. It's got a name on it. I decided I wasn't putting that. And I have changed around a lot of things in there. A lot. If you really take that in, you will see. I've changed a lot of the colors and also some of the objects inside. And changed the look of some of the little animals. So I'm going to put this behind it. See if we can... Because this light is going to give us grief. And I didn't want to film tonight. Because I have to get Simon ready to go. I can see that awful reflection in my glasses. So if you look closely, see the train, I've changed the color of the train, I've changed the color of the moon. I've put my own charms in because I didn't, to be honest, it came with some charms, but I wasn't keen. Some of the things that it came with, I'm not criticizing it, was good value for money, but some of the embellishments to me were not high enough quality for my standards. And I did buy a little pack of baby charms. I know you can't really see the detail, but look at the little teddy bear at the bottom. Can you see him? And I put a little ribbon around his neck using the threads. I'm very happy with how it turned out, and it's very sparkly. And yeah, so, and I've got a little charm in the middle that says family, and something on there that says handmade. If I come over here, it's not so good. I'm hoping this light is going to be all right, you know. I'm beginning to concern myself. I'm going to have a look at the video. If I'm not happy with it, then I will be refilming, because already I don't like the reflection. But anyway, we shall crack on. The other thing as well I wanted to share with you, because those of you who watch my extensive WIP parade, I didn't tell you what the final tally was. So what I did with the WIP parade, right, with the WIPs, is I went over to one of our DIY shops, a bit like in America, you've got places like Lowe's. So I went to Home Base and I bought a load of underbed storage containers, you know, those plastic crates, like they're kind of flat and long. And I decided to put them in there. And what I did was, so I've got 2 crates, and then I've got these 2 racks where I used to keep a lot of my WIPs as well. And the chest, a wooden chest. So the total count, by the way, was 66. I did count them. And not only I count them, I catalogued them all into this book. Cute little book, isn't it? I got it from, it says Enjoy the Little Things, and I just got it from Home Bargains. And you know, it's just a sweet little book with notes and stuff. Anyway, so what I did was, in the book, I just wrote in there. See, I put the date, so it was July, which we did the WIP parade. And I have numbered each crate. So each crate is A, B, and then I have my racks, and then I have the trunk. And I have written down everything that's in each one. Because that way I know where they are. Because I don't know about you, you know, if you think to yourself, oh, I want to stitch on this sample or that thing, you then think, oh God, where did I tuck it in, or which, you know. So I have put them in an order in the crate. So like the first one in the book is at the bottom and so forth. So I know where they all are, and so that I can start to effectively deal with them. Now, out of that 66, I have finished 3. 1, 2. No, I have finished 4 pieces. So that's not bad. So I need to adjust that number. However, I've had a new start as well, which is a bit cheeky and naughty, I know. But I will show you that in a minute. So then what I'm going to do now is quickly go through what I've been working on. Now, it has been, you know, as I said, I haven't had as much stitch time as I like, but I have been stitching. Obviously, a lot of time was spent on that baby sampler, and I'm really focused because it doesn't look like a lot of stitching, but it is actually quite a lot of stitching, and especially the redesigning part of it. Now, the first thing I've been working on, I've got another finish to show you, but I'm going to leave that a little bit on because it's my avocet, and I did some creative work on that finish, and there is a small video we're going to insert which will share with you how I did the finish, you know, the painting and stuff. So that's a bit of a treat. Okay, sorry, I just shook the camera. So shall we start with the new starts first? And then we start with the naughtiness first. All right, so in this project bag, right, which is an Emma Ball bag. And Emma Ball is a dear and personal friend, very successful artist. And in this other Emma Ball bag are 2 new projects. This one I've actually started, and the other one is going to be a start this week as well, but I haven't started it yet. Both are full coverages. Okay, I'm really into my full coverages at the minute. However, having finished the baby sampler and stuff from the WIP pile, I'm going to go into the WIPs to bring out somebody else to join the round, because I want to keep chipping away at that backlog of WIPs. Anyway, let me just get this out. Bear with. I didn't take everything out before, right? Because it's just crazy to try and put it all back together again. I'm going to see if I can share it with the plastic. Hopefully not too reflective. It is far too reflective. Let us take it out. This I bought on Etsy from a company called Sunflower Stitches even. And there it is. I could not resist that, guys. How cute. How cute is that? I mean, let me get close. Can you see the details? It's got owls and so much going on. So much going on. So that's the company there. Love it. It is a big girl. I mean, if you can see by the stitch count. Very big girl. But I'm in love. And so far, I'm working up here. Right in this little corner. I haven't done much stitching on it, you know. It's only had 3 sessions. But you see, at the minute, I'm benefiting from the fact that up in this area here, not too much confetti. So I'm not using too many color changes, and I'm able to make some speedy progress. So I'm going to put this away. I'm working it on 25 count Ada. Sorry, not 25 count Ada. 25 count even weave. I had wanted to work it on 20 count. The finished size would have been too big. Too big. The colors are here. I'm going to bring it out in a minute so you can see it. Don't worry, I'm not holding you to ransom sword. These shiny. But you see the colors are very neutral, blues, those sorts of colors. And these are CXCs. So I'll put that down. And I'm going to bring out my progress. Right, so pardon me, that's Simon moving around the car if you hear a noise. That's my progress. I'm really pleased with that. I know it doesn't look like much, but on these full coverages, you know, go close. You can see all the blues there. Hopefully it's not being blown out by the light. So I'm pleased with how I've gotten on, considering. Now, I'm really enjoying these full coverages, you know, and I know, and I've got some other full coverages to show you my Chris Duns and stuff, how they're getting on. I don't know. In a strange way, I find them like comfort stitching. Maybe I'm a bit weird, but I do. There's something kind of soothing about them. You know, the rhythm of building. I don't know. You're not moving around that much, you know, like if you're doing a sample or whatever, and you're moving from motif to motif. And I just kind of, I'm enjoying them at the minute. They're just my jam right now. Now this one is also, because a pattern cannot travel down a PDF on its own. It's got to have a friend. That's my story anyway. And what happened was when I went into that Sunflower Stitches to buy that one on Etsy, I spotted this one. And I thought, oh, it means a friend and his companionship. This one, I think, is going to be a bit more, even more challenging because it is going to be more confetti. But look at that. It reminds me of my Tenby that I'm working on. The Harbour, it's called. But look at that beauty. And that is very typical of the sort of seaside places I adore here in the UK. Again, an even bigger girl than the other one because that's 600 by 600 stitches. Okay. Again, I bought the fabric for these. The fabric came from Wool Warehouse because they're probably the best around. And it's no good when you're working on some of these full coverages, right? Apologies for the car. What's he doing? Anyway, because we don't get any cars down here. But Simon is moving the cars around on the front because he's getting the caravan ready to go. But anyway, back to the stitching. As I was saying, let's show it here again. We enjoy it again while I'm nattering. Nattering is chatting to my overseas friends. So yeah, so there it is. And you can see the detail. Now all that detail spells one thing: confetti. It's gonna be confetti and lots of it. Now I haven't pulled the threads for this yet out of my CXC stash, but I have bought the fabric. And what I was saying to you is that when you're doing I can show you that. That's some of the colors, you see? Nice, aren't they? Blues, nice colors. Very similar colors to the other one, actually, but a different effect. When you're doing the full coverages, right, it's no good having fat quarters and all that because you find that the fat quarters of the 25 count or whatever gridded fabric is often not the right dimension. So then what you have to do is buy it by the meter. You have to work out. If you're only doing one, then that's easy. But like in this case, I didn't have enough fabric in my stash of the right dimensions. So what I have to do is buy it by the meter. And to be honest with you, the price varies very wildly here in the UK, you know, for what you pay for a meter of 25 count, right? And I'm sure it does in your country as well. I don't know. And to be fair, cotton prices have gone up and fabric prices have gone up a lot since the pandemic. So I mean, I don't know, it's something like, I think I paid £53, which is quite a bit, isn't it, for a meter and a half of 25 count. And the best place I find is Wool Warehouse. They're very good value. They deliver really quickly. It was here within 48 hours of me ordering it, and I had free postage as well, so that was pretty good. So that one I haven't started. Fabric is in the bag. I hope to start it this week. But going back to the other one, actually, I just bring it out again to show you something which I didn't remember to show you. So I want to do a page finish on this one, plus my commitments to Chris Dunn before I'm allowed to start it. These two were my reward for being such a good girl and finishing the baby sampler and focusing on it. So I rewarded myself. Why not? Now, I was going to show you something else. So that's the top. Sorry, back to this one. I meant to show you. That is the end of the first page. And then the second page is going to end about here. And then what I'll do is fill in the middle, right? So I'm going to try and get a page finish on this first. And then I allow myself the start of the other one, right? And that one probably won't have a full page finish because I do have my Chris Duns and other things to attend to. Plus I'm also gonna go into the whip box and pull out something which is one of my legacy pieces to add. So I'm constantly, chipping away at what the things you saw on the whip parade. So let's move them out the way. Now, what else have I got? Now, I've got something crazy and novelty, and this is down to my lovely stitchy friends, my lovely floss girls at Stitching with My Littlie. They are lovely. I watch all their episodes, and actually, they've become friends. I really like them. I don't know. There's something we just I just feel a resonance with them. I really love them. Mother and daughter team. You must go and check them out. I'll put their link below. And anyway, I watched their episode and they were talking about that they were doing a Winnie the Pooh Winnie Wednesday, which is completely off the scale, completely random. But I do have some Winnie, and I quite like Winnie. You all know I like Peter Rabbit as well. And they're doing a Winnie Winnie Wednesday. I'll put the Instagram link down below. And I thought, oh, come on, girls, I'll join in on Winnie Wednesday. I'll do something. So, but of course, the shock to it was my husband went, oh God, those colors are a bit primary and bright. And yeah, Winnie is a bit primary and bright. I don't know what I'll do. I'm planning to make it into like a pillow. I'm just checking to make sure I've got the picture. Yeah. So this is the one I chose to work on. Because what I didn't want, I have got another one that I really like, another Winnie the Pooh one. But what I didn't want to do was to take on a big piece of work. I wanted something where I could do some smalls because, you know, I've got, as you know, a lot of other stitching commitments. And I just want to join in with my friends. So I decided to pick this one, which is a kit I bought on eBay. And it's the Winnie the Pooh calendar, right? So it shows all the different months and what Winnie is up to. And I decided this one was great because what I could do is just do one as a smalls, you know, and that's doable in like a short, you know, in a short window. It's in my Winnie bag, which I showed you my childish nonsense. Look at it, it's a child's rucksack. It was ever so cheap. It was in a little shop in town called Yorkshire Trading. Gosh, this reflection is bad. I'm sorry. And so yeah, and here's my progress. I decided to do this one first. Hold on, this fella, January. Okay, what I wasn't prepared for is the primary type colors. But that's Winnie. Because I have stitched a Winnie many years ago to give to a friend when she had her first baby. There he is. He will obviously develop with his back stitch. So I've done his feet, his little socks, his belly, his little hand, and so forth. And to be honest with you, I could have gotten that finished, really. But next Wednesday, I'll finish him. He'll get finished. And he's on a sparkly 14 count Ada. Yeah. So that's my little silly indulgence. The kit comes with all of the threads. It even came with a big piece of fabric if you wanted to do it as one, but I'm not doing that. And these are the colors. You see, they're very bright. A little bit of fun and frivolity. So I'm taking part in that Winnie Wednesday. Speaking of stitching with my littlie, Lucky Things, they are at the Big Stitch. I wish I was there. The Big Stitch is a big retreat event taking place in the UK, and it's on, I think it's on this weekend. And it's not very far from me, actually, because it's in Sheffield or just outside of Sheffield. You have to look it up online. Yep, Jacob from Modern Folk is going to be there. Loads of sellers are going to be there. Loads of talks, loads of this, loads of that. I am green, but it's one of those things. I just couldn't manage to afford to do that this year. But they will be at the Big Stitch now. Kayla and Lauren enjoying themselves. I hope they are enjoying themselves. And lots of my other flossy friends are there as well. So all of you, enjoy yourself. And I look forward to seeing the highlights on your Flosstubes. You better. What else have I got then in the pile? So apart from that, 'cause it's a little bit bitty, what else did I work on? Let's see what's in this bag. Let's get this bag out. This one I believe is, oh yeah, Woodland Party, Chris Dunn. Love it, gorgeous. But I tell you something, guys. Yeah, this one is a high maintenance lady or boy. Because this one is Confetti City. I'm looking to make sure I've got the picture. Hold on. This one is so slow because it is so detailed. It's probably the slowest of my Chris Dunns, the most tedious. And as you can see, there's an awful lot going on in there. It's by the lovely Paine Free Crafts, and I love it. But it's a slow one. Because you see, there is so much detail. And I'm way up here somewhere up in the trees. Or no, I'm over here. Beg pardon. I'm working this on 20 count easy grid Ada. And I think I spent 2 days of stitching on it. 2 or 3 days. And I'm looking at it thinking, and what have you achieved exactly? Because there's a lot of confetti, a lot of thread changes, a lot of counting. I'll show you the threads, some of the threads. So these are some of the greens. It has a lot of threads as well, a lot of colors. Hold on. Bear with, it's on nice floss cards. It's actually managed to make it to its cards. That's some of the greens. It's got you see how many greens? All of those. And then it has all of this as well. Look. So these are the greens there. Look at them. And then it has all of these as well. There are CXC threads, by the way, I'm working on. Everything I've showed you so far, except Winnie. I think Winnie's kit is kitted up with Anchor. Everything is CXCs. I mean, look at it, guys. That's a lot of colors, isn't it? Lots of colors, right? Lots and lots of color changes. And I know that Sarah, bless her heart, her charts, right? She really does, because she's a stitcher. She charts the easiest way possible for you to stitch and get the result, yes? Hence pain-free. I know it's her name, but hence pain-free. She does try to make it pain-free. So I know Sarah hasn't stitched me up, literally. I know it's just what I'm going to have to do to achieve the finish. Now I'm going to bring it out and show you. Now it is on a hoop. It is on a hoop. And I have made some good progress. So when you last saw it, I think I was over here somewhere. None of this was here. But guys, if I bring it up close, can you see it? I mean, I don't know if you can see it properly. A bit blown out. The colors, man, they're like speckles, aren't they? Like pixels. It's crazy. Like you'll string up and you just do one stitch. Move on. What? And especially, but it's nice. I mean, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. It's very rich. But I've had to put her on the bench because, you know, there are other people who need to be seen. She's not, or he is not the only one. So that one is not going to get a look in next week because I have the other crystons to think about. So that one, that's how I've gotten on with that one. And I'm really not going to do any work on that because, you know, other people need to be seen. Now I'm going to save that one for a minute. Let's see what else I did in here. Oh, the other thing I worked on as well, because I'm just doing the full coverages first. And then I'll get on to some other things. Cheese delivery didn't have any work this week, since you've seen me last, I'm afraid. So I'll show it again for those of you who are new. And of course, I don't appear to have the picture down here because I was not going to show cheese delivery. So we might have to pass over cheese delivery. But anyway, you know, it hasn't changed. And if you look back on my other ones, you'll see cheese delivery because I don't want to. We've got a lot to cover in this video. So there's no point covering things I didn't stitch on this time. But cheese delivery is in the pool, right? He's in the pool. And then the one I'm looking for, because I didn't work on this one either. Let's see who this is. Mr. Toad didn't get a look in, so I'm not going to bother. The other one I wanted to show you, which I did make some progress on, was Michael Powell. So if you just bear with me a minute. Because those of you who do floss tubes, you'll know that when you get these things out, you know, it's just such a mess. You have to, it takes time to put everything back. Let's see if I can find this one. Okay. Bear with me. And I'm going to have to take this out of the bag. So this one is Beach Hut's one. That one. Which you have seen before. From Michael. And I have made a bit more progress on it. I did do a little work on it. Yeah. So that's coming on well. So that is, it's a triptych. So there's Beach Huts 1, Beach Huts 2, and Beach Huts 3. Which, if I can show you close up, I don't know if you can see them. It's not so good, but I've got the others, but they're in my pattern stash. So that's the other two. And what will happen is they'll join up. Now, you can either do them as separate, 3 separates, or you can join them. Because when I bought it from him as a kit, he sold me a long piece of fabric. You have that choice, you know? Michael Powell. And I'll put his link. I'll put his link before, but I'll do it again. So that's the pattern again. And those are the others, if you can see them. Right? So that's it. And in fact, there's a tiny, tiny picture of it in triptych, but you won't be able to see that properly. So as I said, that is my progress. I love it. I really do love it. And, you know, this is a must finish this year. Must. I'm going to have to definitely get my finger out because this is one of my oldest whips now. The 8 and 10B, which is the one with little houses. I just showed it because I haven't worked on 10B. Consider very similar colors. And I really, really want to get these finished because I don't know. I must have Did I buy them before lockdown or around lockdown time? I don't know. But anyway, the point is they need to be done. So they're remaining in the pool as all year. But I'm doing Halloween whatever. So I put a few stitches here and there and hopefully we'll get them done. Let's see what else is in the bag. Sorry about this. If there's anything else of any relevance that I worked on. This is my Heaven and Earth Designs, which is my Amy Stewart. I don't think in truth I've done anything on it. I can't remember actually. I might have done. So little shiny, I'm afraid. That is Amy Stewart, Grand Butterfly Bowl. By the way, all my Chris Dunns are being worked on 20 count Ada, easy grid. Michael Powell came as a kit and he is 14 count Ada with anchor threads, but he came in a kit. So anyway, back to Amy. I like Amy Stewart very much. And the Grand Butterfly Ball. Let's see where I'm at on it. I've started again. I like to start in this corner. I always start in this top corner there. And here she's another full coverage, obviously. She is on 25 count even weave, because, you know, at the end of the day, the these are so big. There's no way I can do them on 20. Although the 25 count is fine. I haven't got a problem. I haven't dared look at 28. So that's that one. Pretty, very pretty. You can't, not doing it justice here. The colors are very electric, and I'm really looking forward to getting down to the purples and the pinks and so forth. But I'm enjoying it, you know. I just pick them up and do a few stitches or do a session on them, and then I do another one and so forth and so forth. And I'm quite enjoying it. And that is the main thing, isn't it? That you're enjoying your stitching. Yes, you want to finish. And as you can see, all of these are very long-term projects. What I do need to do is go into the whip pile and pull out one that's more of an intermediate, something like the squash bottoms or something that I can finish, like how I did the baby sampler and how I did the others as well, and to be reducing that pile. I'm just looking to see if there's anything in this bag. Well, I wasn't showing you the bags, was I? Which is a shame. This one I love. Look, project bag made by me. As you know, I'm a bit of a tote girl. Just thought I'd show you. But don't think there's anything in here. I think this is to do with Michael. So that's pretty much a lot of this, the actual those cross stitches. Now, the bit I saved for you, because I thought we'd intersperse this in the middle. So, my avocet. I have done a finish on the avocet pretty much. I've got a few little odds and ends to do, but I would Simon has done. I did a video of me doing a full finish on the avocet. Now, I don't know if those of you who've seen, if you see my previous video, I'm going to show you the picture first. Sorry about the crinkling. Now, this is by Fido Stitch Studio. It's a little bit shiny. So that was the actual picture. Okay, but as you remember from the beginning, I said to you that I wanted to do some interesting things. I stitched this one on Sky, on the Isle of Skye, and I foraged while I was on the Isle of Skye as well and picked up some little cutesy bits and pieces. Plus, I have a lot in my studio, and I knew I was going to do something special with this one. And as a companion piece, I am going to have the curlew, which I will show you the picture of. I haven't started it yet. So this came as a kit from Fido. Let me just put something behind it. So that, I wish you could, yes. All of that I have created as I wanted. You see that painted background there. There he is. He's finished. I have made some changes as well to, like, when I did the back stitch on the tail, I extended his tail a bit. See if I can pull him in. And that 18 is just that it's on 18 count Ada, to remind me. And what I did was I've painted in this background here. And I've started to put some of the lovely little forage sticks and things, little shells and so on I'm stitching on. I'm also I am putting some random cross stitches in here as well. And I'm using the colors from the kit. So I'm using the inspiration for this part came from him, his body and the colors in the kit. And I've added in the odd color like purples and so on. So I'm not quite 100% finished with the embellishment. But... and he's got some beads. Let's put him out there. See if we can see him better. It's hard to see it in this live. The more I think about this video, I keep thinking whether or not I should be filming later for you instead. I don't know. It's just so bright. That's a bit better, isn't it? So a short video will follow of me in the studio now, showing you how that was done. Okay, so we're in the studio at the minute. I thought I would just do a quick video demo to put in with the Flosstube. Those of you who follow me, you would have met my Ava set before, which is by Fido. So I've finished all the stitching on it, and now I'm going to that creative bit at the bottom, which I'd told you I was going to do. I'd explained before. Normally I would use a die, but to be honest, I'm just going to show you how you can use a watercolor, a good watercolor, to do the same thing. You know, it's my piece. It doesn't have to be a die, and to be honest, it's not going to be handled. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm wetting the area here. So I'm going to work in the same way as I would normally work, wet on wet, you know, with my artwork that I do. And these are just my watercolors here. It's no particular brand. It doesn't matter what brand it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm just want to put a little bit of indication of some water here. I tend to keep my palette quite dirty. Hope you can't see me because I've got my night shirt on because I'm having a day off. It's quite impromptu, as I said, but never mind. So what I'm going to do now is, see, I've wetted it, and then all I'm going to do is just gently, I hope you can see it from there, I'm just gently brushing. I picked up just a little bit of paint from there, blue. And what I'm using is ultramarine blue with a little tiny bit of this darker blue here. But it's just the waste, so as to speak, from my palette, because I just want an indication of the water, because I'm gonna do other things. I am going to put some of this blue thread in here, which came with the kit, but I don't want that. I want something to make it my own. So I'm just giving the indication. I'm just going between his legs a little bit, put in the blue, and then what I'm going to do is drop a few cross stitches in here, and then we're going to use some of the other elements, like some of the beads, the tiny shells and things, just to give the impression that he's on the beach. The other color I'm going to put is like a yellow ochre, which I've got here. Yellow ochre is like one of these colors here, right? Hope you can see, so of a yellowy color. And I'm going to try and just put in a little indication here. It's come out a sort of greeny color, actually, which I didn't really want, but that's okay. So like a dirty green has come out. I'm really not wanting that so much, so I'm going to just do. But you see, I can use threads to kind of just pick it up loosely. We're not going to have a tight cross stitch like this. We're just going to have like sort of sprinklings of cross stitches here and there, maybe even some single cross stitches. So I'm going to go in again to try and get more of that yellow, which would indicate sand. That's better. So that's nice. And I'm just putting it in randomly, okay? The only other color I'm going to put is a little bit of brown. Oh, that is far too orange, that brown. And if you did something like that, it's not the end of the world, right? Because what I'm going to do is wash my brush off quickly, and then I'm going to go back into the watercolor again. And I've picked up another brown, but this time I've mixed it with a bit of black, which was already hanging about, and I'm just going to go over there and just touch it. My brush is quite wet because that gives these sort of loose marks, which is what I'm after on there. Yeah, so that is pretty much how I would do one of my, what I call quickie color. You know, it gives me a lot of control. I didn't want a die, because if I put a die on there, it wouldn't really give me the control I wanted. And I did want that control. So what I've done is, because what will happen is this will have like the sticks and the things on top. That will, I know it's very small margin, but it's okay because we're doing our own framing. So it's of no matter. And it's not going to have any glass on either. The only other thing I might do actually while you're there is I will quickly go into more of a turquoisey cut of blue. Ooh, that's far too bright. I don't know if you can see that. Wow, that's far too bright. So again, no bother. I'm going to knock that color back. So I'm going to use some of this dark blue again, and I hadn't wet the sky, which is a shame. So I'm going to wet that and just put just an indication of a little bit of blue there. Not much. I'm not looking for anything loud, okay? Because really and truly, I'm letting the picture do the talking, the little bird. It's just putting him, to me, giving him a sense of place, you know? So he looks like he belongs somewhere rather than just there as a portrait. Not that there's anything wrong with having that, if that's the look you want to go for. But I wanted to give my bird a little sense of place. So he's almost finished, because I'm not looking to paint a picture. It's not a portrait or anything. I'm just giving it a little bit. And actually, I've just picked up a little bit of this purple and popped a bit of that purple in as well, just to give it a bit more feeling. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this yellow ochre again. I'm going to wet my brush again. because often what I'll do is I will want to include some of the colors that are in the bottom of the picture into the top part of the picture, just to give it a bit of a relationship, which is how I do my other art anyways. So now we've got a little bit of yellow ochre to indicate maybe a bit of light. We don't know if it's the sun or if it's the night time or what it is. It just gives a little bit of yellow in there. Okay, wouldn't want more than that. But if we find ourselves in a situation, quickly before I go, right, where you felt, whoopsie daisy, I'm just looking around quick. I'm looking for a bit of tissue. I don't want you to see my nightshirt because I'm in the studio. I'm having a day off. I'm just chilling out, hanging out. So I'm going to use this sponge, right? But generally, if I had a color and it was too much, you can just sponge it out, because I thought that yellow was a bit strong. So you can just sponge it out. Normally I'd use a bit of kitchen roll. I always have a bit of kitchen roll around the place. And so that's it. I'm going to show you a near up, close up, right? That's pretty much it. You see, it's just got a little bit of a hint of color in there. And then once I add all my embellishments, it will give it a sense of place. Anyway, so back to the other video. Thanks for watching. Yeah, so as I showed you before, just a quick one. So I've painted them. What's happened is just a little insert here. Things have dried down a little bit. You see they've dried down a little. You could dry it with a hairdryer if you want to hurry things along as well, which I'm not going to do, because I'm just going to leave it because I've got something else to do. But if you wanted, you could see the colors will dry. Remember, the colors will always dry slightly lighter than what they show here at the minute. Why it looks so blocky at the minute is because it's wet. It's wet, the Ada fabric. So don't worry about that fact that it's like that. I just thought as well, actually, looking at it, that I might just put a tiny bit more, just a little tiny bit more in some of these areas. So I just thought I'd bring it back just to do that. So I'm just gonna, very pale, it's almost like I'm using water actually on this bit. I'm just going in just like, because I realized as it's drying, these areas here that didn't have any color, anything at all, they were drying a bit sort of blocky. So that's why I brought you back. I know I did say goodbye, but I'm back again. Hope you can't still see me nightshirt. I should get dressed, shouldn't I? Somebody was probably wondering what that is. Somebody's asking what that is. That's some fiber from my felting exploits. Sorry. We're in the studio, you see, on my desk, which I didn't really tidy the desk up. It's real life, right? Yeah, so I, as I said, as I noticed it was drying after I'd stopped filming for you, I didn't like how some of it looked a bit blocky. So and this is often how you build a painting, you know. People say, do you paint? No, you build a painting. That's how I see it. I'm just using some of the debris off of my palette, really. That's the nice thing about having a dirty palette. There's always some nice subtle colors you can use on here that you can't mix again. Yeah, as I was saying, right, when I talk about build a painting, what I mean by that is you can't just paint a paint. Well, you can, I suppose. It depends on how you paint, but I don't just paint a painting, right? I'll do it to stages. Like I'll do a bit of a wash or whatever, and then what I will do is I will come back and assess that painting again. And as I said, this is not a masterpiece. It's not supposed to be taken over from the bird. It literally is given a backdrop to sort of set this little bird off. But what I did notice is that some of these areas here, I didn't like the big contrast between the places where there was a lot of color and the places where there was very little color. I still don't want it overpowering. I'm just continuing to mix my blues and a few little colors here. Yeah, I didn't want it to be overpowering. I'm just going to brighten that a little. Didn't want it overpowering the bird, but it is clear that there is too much of a gap between the bits that were colored and the bits that weren't. So I still have some clear bits that I haven't touched. And actually, let's move my needle minder, because where the needle minder is, little needle minder, I'm not really doing anything. And really, mostly it's water on my brush, but that water is a little bit tinted. You see, I'm not up, I mean, there's practically nothing there, right? It's just a little tinted, and it's going to help to marry these areas in. It's also important, if you're using watercolor, right, to remember to let that, allow that first wash or first layer to dry a bit before you start putting on other layers, because it is water soluble, and what will happen is it will just disappear, and worse, it will turn into what people call mud, aka all these colors that don't really have a relationship will mix and create what they call mud, which is like a sort of unpleasant brown color. I'm just sort of indicating there a bit where the edge of the water is a bit, strengthening that up a bit. And at any time, you know, even after this dries, I could come back and do a bit more on it. So I know I said goodbye before, but I'm saying goodbye again. Oh, one more thing. Sorry, I lied. I'm not saying goodbye. The other thing I wanted to show you quickly is that fella there from Fido. He's the same designer as this, or she, as this other chap here, this other one. And they're going to be companion pieces. There's this little stick that I showed you in the previous. It's got water on the bag. So what I'm planning to do is do this one as a companion piece to this one. It's going to be worked on the same 18 count Ada, and I will give it the same treatment which I gave to this one. You know, maybe slightly different colors or whatever. So yeah, so stay tuned to see how that eventually develops. Already I'm liking the sense of depth that this one has got. Let me hold it up for you. There it is. It has more of a sense of place. You know, and there's nothing wrong with how it was designed. It was perfectly fine. I just didn't want that finish. I wanted a bit more artistic finish. So yeah, so hope you enjoyed that. And I will always put in a few little things like this on the channel, just to give you a bit of knowledge, share some of my knowledge with you, and just to encourage you, as usual, to try something new. Go off into the long grass. Anyway, catch up soon. Bye. Right. So hopefully Simon managed to insert that for you, and hopefully you enjoyed it, how I went about creating that look for him. And actually in that video it should have showed you the companion piece from Fido as well. So yeah, so that was fun, and I hope you enjoy these little inserts. I know they're not standard, but you know, I'm not setting about to do anything standard. I'm just doing me. Okay, so hopefully you will, you know, and sharing my knowledge and so on and so forth with you. One of the embellishments that I had used, or I've got the bag of embellishments here. I don't know if I put them in, so I'll just quickly show you before we move on, because we've got a lot to cover. So in this little pot here, I've got like some little forage bits of shell. To be honest with you, a lot of it are really worn coral bits and just detritus really, but they're nice because they're funny shapes and you can stitch them down. All the bits I've stitched down. Here's some of the beads I'm using. Now these bags of mixed beads are very good. I think they come from Totally Beads here in the UK, and you see you can get them in color bags. They come in all sorts of colors. Those are the browns and bronzes, right? And I go for the ones with the small beads, and they're very useful to have. You can I've got them in green and all sorts of colors, but I do use them in my other work as well. What else have I got in here which I had used? These are felt pebbles. So I bought them like this. So they're made out of wool. I don't know if I can show you them. They're a bit slippery to hold, and they're quite tiny, and they're hard. They're hard but soft at the same time. You can stitch through them. And they're just little pebbles. They're different sizes. I got them at a craft fair somewhere. So a few of those are being stitched in at his feet. When Simon frames it, he's going to frame it with no glass, so that the high bits, you know, won't be a problem. So that was your little treat. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Now, plans. So next week, going forward, hopefully I will film again and broadcast. I've got more to do. I've got more to show you. Just so you guys don't switch off. Yeah, what I'm thinking about now. So in another couple of weeks time, right, Simon is going tomorrow to Hyde Hall Flower Show, and when he gets back, he has promised me that he's going to try and fit in some of my full finishes, aka, you know, as you know, I've got quite a few finishes, but not many are fully finished, including the baby sampler, aka they're not in frames. So he's going to try and he's booked me in some framing time, because obviously the business selling part comes first, my hobby comes second. So yeah, he's gonna do that. So hopefully we'll have some full finishes to look forward to the next one. But I don't think the next one will be for at least probably about 2 weeks. Although I do have some other things I suppose I could put in the meanwhile, like, you know, catch up on some of the backlog stuff of some of the come with me's. But we've had a lot of come with me's, and you'll have them all. You will. But I want to make sure you're getting a lot of stitching and creative content in there as well. So we're not just gadding about and jollying around the country. Yeah. So the other thing as well is at the end, I yesterday, because the weather was so nice, I also went out into the wild stitching, which was wonderful. I went into the next fen, so not far from my home. You could cycle there really, because we live in a fen. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a sort of valley area, but then they're quite big. But if you look over, like say, as far as your eye could see, because it's very flat here, there is usually another fen, another fen, and another fen. So, but it's weird because like each one is like a pocket of extensive land, acres and acres of land, right? Owned by different people. And it's like your little enclave. But to go to the next fen, usually you have to go onto a slightly main road, not like busy, because it's not busy around here. And then you go into the next fen. So I went to visit another fen, which was Thorpe Thinley fen. Although I keep saying the wrong way around, Thinley Thorpe. I think it's Thorpe Thinley. Fen. I went there. I like it. It's a short drive, not very far. And it would be quicker if I could just cut across to it, but you can't. You got to go around. And I think part of that is because of all the drainage dikes and stuff that we have here in the fens. So I'm going to insert a little picture of that. Me stitching in the sunshine, sat in my car with the river behind me in the next fen. And it was beautiful. It was lovely. It was like doing Tai Chi or something in the park. It was so relaxing, so freeing. And also I will insert a picture of our cottage and how it sits in our fen so that you get an idea of the remoteness and how it is, the isolation. Although we're not, even though we're not remote, like we cut off, like my village is only a mile away, where I can get like the shops and the doctors and all that. And as I said, Lincoln City is only half an hour in the car away. So it's not remote, but it is remote in the sense that you don't get a lot of people down here. It's quiet, very much agricultural, lots of wildlife. And the wildlife are very tame, very much peaceful. I love it. I mean, I feel quite honored and grateful to live in this spot. So I am now going to move on to show you some of the other creative things I have been doing in the last few weeks, because I have been a busy bunny, as always. Now, for those of you who are only interested in the cross stitch and you want to leave and you're not interested in seeing what other creative things I've been up to, that is fine. I'm grateful that you have joined me. I hope you might stay and enjoy some of the other creative things, because one creative thing feeds another creative thing. I never think anything you do creatively is wasted. And it might introduce you to another craft or something else that you might be interested in, or something you've never seen before. So hopefully you're stitching anyway and you're enjoying yourself, so you will hang around for the next bit. Anyway, so what have I got to show you? Now, as you know, I said to you, it's my big birthday this year, and it was also our big wedding anniversary this year. So we've been a little bit globe-trotting-ish. Not by choice, but, by gifts and stuff. Because I said to people, I don't really want a party. I don't want any of that. I would rather have some experiences and spend time with people I love and care about. That's what's really important, especially now that I'm feeling better health. So we went to Seville. Seville was wonderful. As I said, we're going to do a slideshow. We were only there for a few days. It was very hot, very, very hot. So you had to, go out early in the morning and then, do your sightseeing and then come back in, cool, rest, and then go out in the evening. So that was nice, but that's going to be on a separate video, right? But what I was going to show you is what I bought. And by the way, those other two patterns, they were haul, the two new stuffs. So, yes, so this is my other haul. So I'm just going to reach around. Now, one of the things that Seville in Spain is known for, apart from flamenco and things like that, and lovely food, is that there's ceramics. So I didn't really want, to be honest with you guys, I didn't really want to buy. I didn't feel shopping-wise, didn't really fancy. I didn't go around the shops a lot. But I do like handmade things, right? So they are known for their ceramics. And I went to one of their famous ceramic houses and looked at some beautiful pieces in there. I think in the Come With Me to Seville, I think I do have some footage of the outside of the shop, because you couldn't film in the shop, understandably. But I did manage to catch a few pictures of some of the stuff displayed in the window. So one of the things I do is I spin. Right? I have a spinning wheel, which the wheel No, you can't see. Yeah, it's just there. One of my wheels. It's just, hang on, let me turn around. That little brown thing you see sticking out in the back there, behind the chair. That's one of my spinning wheels. I do spin, and I enjoy spinning as well. And I do both spinning wheel spinning and spindle spinning. So I got these little bowls, and they're ever so reasonably priced. They're only a few euros. I think that one was €5, handmade. I love the bubbles inside. They had these in all of these things I'm going to show you, right? They had sets of them, so like you could get big things, little things, jugs, you name it. You could get different shapes. But I decided to treat myself to these little spinning bowls as a little memento of Seville. So this is what's called spongeware, right? For those of you who know a little bit about ceramics. And then that's like a bubble. They would have used some sort of foam type technique to create that inside. But that one really fell. And I'm going to show you what they're for in a minute. I'm going to give you a little demonstration. This one I just love. This one looks like Pollock. This was from a different ceramic house, and they're all signed on the bottom. And I think these little ones were about €5 each. Okay. Pretty, wasn't it? And then this is my favorite one. This reminds me of the flamenco dancers. Okay, and this one was a bit more. So there you go. That's, again, signed. They're all signed under the bottom, as all artisan ceramics usually are. This one was €14. But look at her, a Spanish senorita. She looked a bit like one of those lovely flamenco ladies. And I think when I do the Come With Me to Seville, we will include a little clip of the flamenco we went to see for you to share. But look at that. Isn't she pretty? So you're probably thinking, wow, these bowls, what they got to do with spinning? So next to me here, I have, I'm going to show you quickly. I don't know how I'm going to show you because it's a bit tricky, actually. I might have to tilt. Now, you have different types of spindles, and I'm not going to go into any details, right? Because those of you know about spinning now, but, you know, another time maybe. This is one of my spindles, okay? Now, this one is called a supported spindle, and there are different types. You know, a lot of you are used to those drop spindles, those ones that people bob up and down, and it spins around from the top and spins the wool. And you can see here I've already got some wool spun on there, and that's merino and silk, right? It's a nice way of getting luxury wool, and it would have come from this, the fluff, right? The fiber. Now, most of us know that you can spin the normal sheep wool, you know, and it's white usually or whatever, and it can be dyed. This is a different thing because this is a merino wool, so it's a very soft, fine wool. It's got silk in it. Yeah, sorry, that's a bit of thread. And you see there are fibers like so. And that is what you spin to make your knitting wool. Now, okay, so I know you've got all those messy bags to the side. Ignore them. Those are the whips. So what it is you see the bowl. The ceramic bowl is in my lap. And how the supported spindle works is you put it in the bowl, okay? And you give it a twist. And this is the fiber here, and I have to control it with my fingers. And all I'm going to do is hold it, and the twist that I put in has transformed that fluff. You see how tight that is now? And I'll just give it another little spin, and then I'll roll it onto the cup. Okay, and that's now gone from being fluff to wool. Not going to be a long demo, I'll just give you an idea, just expose you to something new. It's always nice to see something different, isn't it? And this is merino and silk. It's very nice for those of you who knit or crochet or whatever. Now, it's important when you're doing it, though, that you go in one direction. And I always spin clockwise. I never go anti-clockwise and there's a reason for that later on in the process. But I'm not going to really go into that because this is not a spinning lesson for you. I mean, if you're interested in that, I could maybe one time I might do an episode on a little bit more about spinning, but not today. I'm just giving you a little idea. And you see, I keep pulling out, but you see, I keep my finger there to stop it getting out of control. And then all I do is do it. So now what you have, right, is just one wire of wool. And you see, I'm using the little bowl, and that's what the bowls are for. So then what it is, to make it into wool, which I'm going to show you a little skein I brought down, you would ply that. So you have two of these, two singles. You put them together to make wool as you know it. You see they've twisted together now. And that is part of why you have to go in one direction. But I'm not going to go into the detail because, you know, it's a little complicated. It's not really, but it's not really what you're here for as such. I just wanted to show you why I bought those little bowls and what I'm going to use them for. Right, so we're back up at the right level now. I hope you enjoyed that tiny little demonstration. You know, if you wanted me to do an episode one time on spindles and spinning, I'm quite happy to do a little demo for you, or just add a bit more detail in. That's fine. But I just wanted to show you. So remember we spun on the thing, there was just one ply or one length, you know, it was a single, wasn't it, piece of spun stuff. And what happens in the end is it becomes this, because what you do, this is one I've done before, and this is with some hand dyed fibers dyed by me. You see how beautiful it is? And that is wool that you're accustomed to seeing, which you'd use for knitting or crochet. And what it is one, you would have two lots. If you did it on the spinning wheel, or if you did it on the spindle, you would have two lots of singles, and then you would ply them in the opposite direction to which you had spun them. Hence why you need to go in one way. And then it would become, well, a two ply. Yeah, that's just a one single ply. So that's it. So that's one type. So that's like this is probably a chunky. I can spin down to as far as I've spun down to lace weight, which is fine. But this one is a chunky. Well, I would say maybe, yeah, it's not a double knit. It's two. And this is an art yarn that I've made. This is very lumpy on purpose, that I made in the past. And I use them for lots of things. I use them in my textile work, which I sell. So when I'm doing my free motion embroidery. I also use them with my weaving. And obviously knitting and crochet as well. So that's a little treat for you, right? Up on an angle. What else have I been doing? I've also made a bag since you've last seen me. A tote. I love it. So that is my tote. Little birds on. Because you know I love a tote, right? To be honest with you, I don't know what is wrong with me. I can make bags, you know. I don't know. I get a bit... I don't know. I can't say I enjoy it that much. And that's the lining. And I line the handle as well with a stripe. So that's the lining there. And this one, it's a project bag that I sometimes carry around. I don't tend to put one project in it. I use it to like transport stuff around because it's quite a big bag. It's also good for a shopping bag because they're quite soft. Now, the story of this bag is quite interesting because I made it as well with a wide bottom. I went shopping, right, and I went into Dunelm Mill, which is like a sort of homeware shop here in the UK. And I went in there. It sells household stuff, you know, and fabric and that. And all it was a curtain sample. They had in that the bargain bin. And the whole of this bag, seriously, and I could make 2 bags out of it because I still have enough. The stripe was the lining of the curtain. It was like a curtain sample. You know, like when you go in the shop, they have them hanging up. And they're small, they're not very big, but it's like just so you can see if you want to make a customized curtain what it's going to look like in that fabric. And the whole lot was £3. So that bag, £1.50. Just goes to show you that, you know, if you haven't got a big budget for things, you know, you can turn your hand, as we'd say in Jamaica, turn your hand and make fashion. You know, you can economize and still have nice things and take part in things, you know, because a lot of us, you know, there's all sorts of strains and normal things in our lives, but it don't mean that you can't have a bit of indulgence. You know, and that money that you save on that can go to something else. So the last thing I was going to show you before I love you and leave you, you see I keep hitting the camera, silly me, is also what I've been doing on my fiber and felting adventures. So as you know, I work as a mixed media artist and I work in textiles. My pictures and my website is usually down below. And I have been, not something I've not done before because I used to do fiber pictures and pictures using fiber, which is, when I say fiber, it's like the stuff I was showing you I was spinning with in the past. But since I've been to Scotland, I've been working on, and I think since last year, Scotland, the Peak District of Derbyshire, which is not that far from me, and also the Lake District has really stirred this fascination with creating landscapes with fiber again, mostly inspired by those hilly areas. They just speak to me of fiber, that fluffiness, that sort of mistiness. I don't know. It's just something. So I have been working and designing a new range of pieces, which obviously will go for sale in my normal shop. But I thought on the art channel, but I thought I would show you what I've been doing because it has used up some of your flossy time. So I thought I might as well show you what I've been doing quickly. So this little one, now these are all work in progress. So I'm just giving you a little squinty. Hopefully you don't mind. So this one here is one of my pieces, and you see all the fiber has been used to create all of this texture down here, and it has got free motion embroidery. It's worked on paper, and this is like the little croft. It's a little croft series. Now when you go up into the hills and up in Scotland, and you will see from you probably saw from the sky one, you get all these little bothies, and I love that. And this is actual Harris tweed fabric here. Which was bought there, but it's also woven in Scotland. Here's another little bothy. Now these are just experimental pieces. They probably will be framed and sold, but they're experimental pieces. I'm working, you see, I don't do sketchbooks as such. This is how I work. I experiment. And that is Bothy by the lock. It's a little lock up there, and the mountains. And it's a combination of my paint and my stitch and using the fiber. So in a way, it's floss still. I don't know. That's another little one, isolated farm. And they're quite naive. They're not meant to be like, you know, I wanted them to have that sort of naive, rustic quality to them. This one uses all sorts of techniques. And what else have I been doing? I've been doing a lot of wet felting. Landscapes, which I'm gonna stitch on. This one is one of my favorites. This has some Scottish heather on it, and this is actually one that will go up for sale. So that will be framed up and sold. Now these will probably in the next couple of weeks, they will be available for sale on my other site. If anybody's interested, you can look on there. But that's not what this is about. I'm not here to hard sell you anything. I just wanted you to see what I've been doing. And if you want to buy, you know where the other shop is. And this one I'm particularly pleased with. That really has the essence of the mountains and the landscape and the rain and the wet and everything. This one also I love, and this one I've started, it's a bigger one, and this needs a bit of work up the top where the sky is, but this one is called Red Sky at Night. And I love that. I like that. It will be mounted, so it will be neater on the sides, and you can see the free motion detail I'm putting at the bottom, you see? I'm stitching into it. That's free motion, which I do. Okay, and then finally I was going to show you this one. Now I with my work I usually do prints as well, and what I do is I stitch my prints, which is a pain for my own back because it means that, you know, when I make an original and I make a print, I'm still working on the print, but it gives the customer, people who buy my work, a flavor of the work, so they still have the stitching without, you know, breaking the bank. This one here is also one that's going to go into the new collection. I hope the light is, because I can't. Yeah, and that is stitched as well. All the bottom area there, you can see all the rocks. Yeah, and there it is. And then I experimented with that one to see if it would translate well into a print, and I'm very pleased. That's the print. It's a Jacare art print, so we do all our own prints, and you can see all the stitching at the bottom. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing. Oh, one more thing. Oh, sorry. And also on that fiber felt journey, I was playing. You know, I've made the teddy bears. Those of you who watch me, I did my little teddy bears. I got something really cute to show you. Look what I did. And this is a tutorial I did with Sarafina Fibers online. Look at this little mouse. I've just laid him on this. It's a sleeping mouse. He's so cute. Look at him. he was really fun to do, and he's very soft. I use nice fibers on him, and I curled his little tail around his head. There's no sewing involved. This is just needle felting. The other pieces I showed you were mostly wet felting, and then a little bit of needle felting, and obviously my free motion and paint on the paper. I've mounted them on, and I have another little sleeping mousey. Look at this one, funny little fella, and I put his little whiskers in, and these are just for fun. So that is what has been going on. When you haven't seen me, I've been having a great time, but it's been really busy. It's been really hard, and I haven't forgotten about, I felt really bad about not filming. I've missed you all, and I've missed sharing, and I thought, no, Sunday morning, I'm going to get it done. And I'm hoping, realistically, we have the show coming up next week. Simon will be for a whole week for that. And then, I will have work in the studio to do next couple of weeks, because then we have back at the RHS Hyde Hall, which is in the Essex countryside, beautiful setting. We have a craft fair there, which we've been doing for years, so we have a lot of returning customers, so we have that commitment. And then we're going to the autumn shows. We only have one Christmas show, but I think we have 3 autumn shows, 3 or 4, and I have my Christmas collection to get out and the winter collection to get out, Christmas cards and stuff we do, and we do Christmas tableware and all the rest of it. So there's a lot going on. All right, a lot. So but I will be weaving in my channel because I love it, and I know that, you depend on seeing me, and I depend on having your company because I do enjoy it. So until the next time, enjoy your stitching. Those of you at the big stitch, enjoy yourselves. I'm only being silly. I wish I was there. And yes, and until the next time, take care, happy stitching, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.